Welcome to our channel where we dive into the darkest and most mysterious tales, where the shadows whisper secrets and the night itself holds its breath in fear. Tonight we descend into the chilling world of abandoned factories, places where the echoes of industry have given way to something far more sinister. We bring you three spine-chilling stories of unexplained phenomena in these desolate giants of steel and rust. Make sure to turn off the lights, sit back, and prepare to be terrified. The air hung heavy with the scent of rust and decay, a metallic tang that clung to the back of your throat. This was the Packard automotive plant in Detroit, a monument to American ingenuity now left to rot, a graveyard of forgotten dreams. But some dreams, it seemed, refused to die. They lingered in the shadows, spectral remnants of the lives they once lived. Workers, long before the plant's demise, would whisper of strange occurrences, fleeting glimpses of figures out of time. A man in overalls, his face obscured by shadow, walking the factory floor long after everyone had gone home. A woman in a faded blue dress, her laughter echoing through the empty halls. They were dismissed as tricks of the light, figments of overactive imaginations fueled by long hours and the oppressive atmosphere of the factory. But these apparitions, these ghostly echoes of a bygone era, grew bolder, more insistent. One night, a security guard making his rounds swore he saw a group of workers huddled around a machine, their faces illuminated by an unearthly glow. As he approached, the figures dissolved into thin air, leaving behind only the faint scent of ozone and a bone-chilling cold. Word spread like wildfire, each retelling embellishing the details, adding to the growing legend of the haunted factory. Some whispered that the spirits were disgruntled workers, forever bound to the place where they had spent their lives. Others claimed they were victims of industrial accidents, seeking solace or perhaps revenge. Whatever the truth, the Packard plant became a place to avoid, a chilling reminder that some places hold on to the past with an unyielding grip. Imagine, if you will, the cold, unforgiving steel of the factory floor beneath your feet. The air is thick with the silence of ages, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water seeping through the cracked concrete ceiling. A chill wind whistles through the broken windows, carrying with it the whispers of unseen presences. You round a corner, your footsteps echoing in the cavernous space, and then you see it. A flicker of movement in the periphery, a shadow detaching itself from the darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, your breath catching in your throat. You want to look away, but a morbid curiosity holds your gaze captive. The figure turns, and for a fleeting moment you lock eyes. The face, if you can call it that, is a mask of sorrow, the eyes burning with a cold, ethereal light. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the figure is gone, vanished into thin air. You're left there alone in the darkness, the echo of your racing heartbeat, the only sound in the oppressive silence. You try to convince yourself it was just your imagination, a trick of the light. But deep down, you know what you saw. And you know that you'll never forget the chilling encounter in the haunted Packard plant. Our next tale takes us to the decaying heart of Pennsylvania, to a town clinging to the remnants of its industrial past. Here, shrouded in an oppressive silence, broken only by the creak of rusted metal, stands the abandoned Bethlehem Steel Factory. Once a symbol of American might, it now stands as a grim testament to the fleeting nature of prosperity. But the factory's demise wasn't just economic. It was steeped in tragedy, shrouded in an eerie silence that whispered of darker things. A series of unexplained deaths, each more bizarre than the last, plagued the factory in its final years. Workers, their faces grim beneath their hard hats, spoke in hushed tones of a malevolent presence lurking within the factory walls. The first to go was a foreman, a man known for his gruff demeanor and unwavering work ethic. He was found crushed beneath a pile of steel beams, his lifeless eyes staring vacantly at the unforgiving metal that had claimed his life. The authorities ruled it a tragic accident, a consequence of working in such a hazardous environment. But whispers of something more sinister began to circulate. Some whispered of a curse, a malevolent entity that had taken up residence within the factory walls. Others spoke of a cover-up, claiming the deaths were no accident but the result of negligence or worse. As the body count rose, so too did the fear. Workers, once proud to be part of the Bethlehem Steel legacy, became shadows of their former selves, their faces etched with a fear that ran deeper than any economic downturn. One by one they left, driven away by the unsettling feeling that they were not alone within the factory walls. Soon, the once bustling heart of the town fell silent, the machines stilled, the air thick with an unspoken dread. But the silence, it seemed, was not truly silent. For those brave enough, or perhaps foolish enough, to venture near the abandoned factory at night, a symphony of unsettling sounds awaited. The clang of metal on metal, as if ghostly hands were still working the machines, the hiss of steam escaping from long-dormant pipes. And most unsettling of all, the faint sound of whispers carried on the wind, speaking of things best left undisturbed. Imagine standing before the factory gates, the rusted iron bars twisted and broken as if clawed at by something desperate to escape. The air around you is heavy, charged with an unseen energy that sends shivers down your spine. As you step onto the factory grounds, the crunch of gravel beneath your feet is the only sound that dares to break the oppressive silence. The shadows seem to stretch and contort as you move, reaching out like grasping claws, eager to pull you into the darkness. You make your way deeper into the heart of the beast, each step echoing in the cavernous space, amplifying the sense of unease that claws at your sanity. The air grows colder, the metallic tang of rust tinged with something acrid, something ancient and evil. And then you hear it, a low guttural growl emanating from the very walls themselves. Your blood runs cold, your breath catching in your throat. You spin around, searching for the source of the sound, but the shadows hold their secrets close. The growl is joined by another and another until the air is thick with the sound of unseen creatures, their hunger palpable. You stumble back, your heart pounding in your chest, your mind screaming at you to run, to escape this place before it claims you as it claimed so many before. Chapter 3. Our final journey into the abyss of abandoned factories takes us to the outskirts of a forgotten town, swallowed by the relentless embrace of nature. The air here is thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying vegetation, a stark contrast to the metallic tang of our previous destinations. Here, nestled amidst a tangle of overgrown weeds and gnarled trees, stands the remnants of the South Pittsburgh hosiery mill. Unlike the previous factories, its demise wasn't marked by tragedy or sudden closure. It simply faded into obscurity, abandoned and left to rot, its existence slowly erased from the memories of those who once toiled within its walls. But the mill, it seemed, was not content to be forgotten. It held on to its secrets, its history, with an almost possessive grip. And it exacted a price from those foolish enough to venture within its decaying walls. The first sign that something was amiss were the shadows. They danced in the corners of your vision, shifting and contorting even when there was no light to cast them. At first they were dismissed as tricks of the light, the product of overactive imaginations fueled by the oppressive atmosphere of the abandoned mill. But the shadows grew bolder, more insistent. They seemed to have a life of their own, slithering along the walls, stretching out like grasping claws. And then people started to disappear. It began slowly, almost imperceptibly, a hiker venturing too close to the mill's perimeter, vanishing without a trace. A group of teenagers daring each other to spend the night within the mill's crumbling walls, never to be seen again. The disappearances were always the same. No struggle, no signs of a struggle, just an eerie absence where someone once stood. The local authorities were baffled. They scoured the woods surrounding the mill, dredged the nearby river, but found no trace of the missing. The disappearances became a grim local legend, whispered in hushed tones around campfires, a cautionary tale to keep children from straying too far from home. Some whispered of a beast, a creature of shadow and darkness that lurked within the mill's depths, preying on those foolish enough to enter its domain. Others spoke of a portal, a rip in the fabric of reality that swallowed those unfortunate enough to stumble into its path. Whatever the truth, the South Pittsburgh hosiery mill became a place to avoid, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. Imagine, if you will, the oppressive silence of the abandoned mill. The air is thick with the scent of decay, the floor beneath your feet littered with debris. You shine your flashlight ahead, the beam cutting through the darkness like a knife. But the light seems to be swallowed by the shadows, unable to penetrate the oppressive gloom. You take a step forward and the floorboards groan in protest, the sound echoing through the empty mill. And then you see it, a flicker of movement in the corner of your eye. You spin around, your heart pounding in your chest, but there's nothing there, just the shadows dancing and swirling as if alive. You tell yourself it was just your imagination, but a cold dread settles in your gut. You continue on, your pace quickening, eager to escape the oppressive atmosphere of the mill. But the shadows seem to follow you, growing closer, more insistent. You feel a cold hand brush against your neck and you spin around, your flashlight beam dancing wildly in the darkness, but there's nothing there. You're alone. Or are you? Thank you for braving the darkness with us tonight. We've journeyed into the heart of abandoned factories where the echoes of industry have given way to something far more sinister. If you enjoyed these terrifying tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling stories. Share your own scary experiences in the comments below if you dare. Until next time, stay safe and stay scared. Remember, the darkness is always listening.